Hi, I'm Erica, and today I'm going to show you how to do a quick, easy weeknight dinner when you don't have a lot of time that can be easily packed in a bento box. I feel like I always do pastas for you guys, which is not super healthy, but this one has spinach in it and tomatoes, and that part of it's healthy-ish. So, whatever. This is fast and easy and going to be delicious. So I'm going to do a ricotta and lemon zest filled ravioli. I got this one at Trader Joe's where I frequently shop. So I'm going to do this, and it's going to have some spinach. You need a couple handfuls. I've got some cherry tomatoes. I'm going to do those whole. A couple cloves of garlic, adjust to your personal preference, and some olive oil. So I have my water on the stove, and I have my oil preheated. You just do a couple turns of it into a pan. We're going to wilt the greens in some garlicky olive oil. So let me show you how I do that. Okay, so before I started cooking anything, I got all my business in place. I got my spinach, my cherry tomatoes, my ravioli, my garlic, and I have a bowl with which to transfer the ravioli into when I'm done. So that is a really crucial step that some people tend to leave out, and it makes cooking a lot longer. If you can kind of prep everything and have it ready to go, you'll just cruise right through. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my garlic, which I've done kind of a slice and dice situation here. I've got about a tablespoon of olive oil in the pan, and I'm just going to put that in there. Ooh, and toast it, saute it a little, about 2 minutes. So I'll set a timer for 2 minutes. Why not? And I'm going to let that simmer. If you have not brought your water to a boil, that is a great time to do that now. And I'm going to put my ravioli in. This only takes 3 minutes to cook. So if you want to eat it hot, put it all in at the same time. Yeah, that's great advice from me. Anyway, I'm going to do it now because I'm going to pack most of it, and I don't mind a little cold ravioli. So I'm going to do these and open this, and my boyfriend says that I open packages like an ape, so shout out to John. That's just how I like to open them. Alright, I'm going to put my little raviolis in here. It's easier to do it by hand because I've dumped the whole package in before and splashed myself with boiling water, which is fantastic. So I'm going to let that cook for a hot second, let my garlic heat up, and I'm going to come back via the magic of cutting. Hi, buddy. It's been a couple minutes. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my cherry tomatoes. This is a thing, so when I worked in restaurants, I used to be a pastry chef. I guess I could say I still am, even though I bake once a year. When I worked in restaurants, there was one where we would roast cherry tomatoes. Oh my gosh, they taste so good. It's just a light kind of sear on them, and they get really juicy and then kind of like explode in your mouth. So I didn't think this recipe was exciting enough to do without that aspect of it on its own, just the spinach. Let's see, my ravioli's boiling. I'm going to do it for 3 minutes. I'm going to cook these tomatoes. And they only really need a couple minutes. I got this over medium heat. You can't see any of what I'm doing. I'm trying so hard. There's just no good place. My kitchen's very small. It's also me. It's a one-man show. I don't have a camera crew. Alright. So, that's been in there enough. It doesn't really take that long. Now I'm going to add my greens. And you just plop them in there. I'm going to take my tongs and just move them around so they get sauteed in the oil. You'll know when they're wilted. They'll be very soggy. They wilt down to almost nothing, so really I should have used quite a bit more spinach, but it went bad, so this is what I had left. So, you know, work with what you got. If you don't have spinach, you can use any kind of greens you want. I'm not going to tell you what you like. You know, go to the store, pick it out. wilt them, toss them in with some ravioli, and call it a healthy dinner. So these are looking so good. Oh my god, you guys, this is so pretty. It's just painfully beautiful. Little raviolis, a ravioliing. Alright, you don't care about this part. I'm going to cut and come back. Alright, I should have wilted way more greens. You know what? I'm working with what I got. It's all about improv. So my ravioli's done. I've got a bowl here. I've got my handy spider tool. I showed you this probably several times. It is my favorite kitchen tool I've purchased in the past year. It was like $6 on Amazon. I love this thing. So I'm ladling my raviolis. And, whew, oh my gosh, I love these so much. So I'm all done with that. Turn that off. I'm going to do just a little bit of olive oil over them and kind of toss them around. I don't want them to stick together. And that's, I mean, there's not really sauce on these, so you're going to want that. I'm going to take my delicious tomatoes and spinach and toss them over. Let's see. And that's your dinner and your lunch for tomorrow. So I'm going to let this cool down and I'll pack the rest of my bento. I'll try to let you guys watch. It doesn't always work out great, but let's give it a shot. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. So I'm going to let that cool down and pack my bento. Okay, I'm going to try to show you as much as I can. It is a little difficult, but bear with me. All right, so my bottom tier, this whole thing is going to be ravioli. I'm not going to fill this whole thing. It only goes up to like there, so it's really not that much. I've got, this is the top tier, and this is where I put all my fun stuff. It's where the party goes, I guess. So I like to work biggest to smallest. This has some leftover stuff in it. I do with walnuts. I'm vegetarian, so I get my protein and my good fats where I can. So I fill that with walnuts. I'm going to tuck that into the corner. I also have my peanut butter cups, long time staple. My Time Hop app alerted me I've been doing bento boxes for 4 years, and not a day has gone by where I haven't had these puppies. So at Trader Joe's, if you'd like to endorse me and just send me a lifetime supply, I'd currently accept that. I got my walnuts, and then I have about 2/3 of the box, and I'm going to fill it with some fruit. So this week at the farmer's market, I got these little French strawberries again. I'm just going to tuck them in nicely. I like to try to do some semblance of organization in here, but it is a little difficult, especially like I don't have a lot going on in terms of fruit. Oh, you know what I do have that I forgot? Hold. Oh, yeah. I've got some olives. I am not a big olive person, but working with cheese, this looks so disgusting. I don't know why I showed you that. Working with cheese for so long, you try a lot of different stuff, and I learned that I really like these Castelvetrano olives. They're really buttery, they're not too salty or briny, and they have a really nice texture. So I'm just going to do 3 of those because they're a little salty. For these, you want to pat off the excess moisture. They're just going to go in your bento box. They're not going to, like, you know, they're not going to dry out in the few hours that you're packing them. So I'm going to pack those in last. And the other thing I have my sun-kissed golden raspberries and blueberries. Somebody asked me on Instagram, which it's on my page. It's Erica Strada. You can look it up. Somebody asked me on my Instagram how I store my food because they store theirs and it always goes bad. And I got a boatload of these containers for like $3 at Target. And I store them, they're clear so you can see through. They stack, so I make like a lunchtime stack of them, I'm sorry. And I put it towards the front of the fridge so that I can see pretty clearly what I have and, you know, if I need to lay off a little bit of something, if I'm getting too crazy, or, you know, what I have to use up when it's like, oh, girl. So I'm going to tuck these in. I'm working with a loose rainbow theme. It is a little difficult, but we shall forge ahead. And then my last thing is my blueberries. Did you know there's two kinds of blueberries? I just found this out from the guy at the farmer's market. There are, I don't know which one's which. Some are bigger and some are smaller, but there's some that are really tart. There's a kind that's really tart and a kind that's really sweet. And I found I really like the tart kind. So whenever I go, I ask him, pretty sure he rolls his eyes at me, but you know what? I like what I like. So that is enough blabbering on. Here is my little top tier. I'll show you in better detail, but you can see it's a loose rainbow theme, and I think it looks beautiful. And if you were wondering, here's my little lunchtime stack. I have my strawberries, my golden raspberries. I found a hummus that I like. It's mango sriracha hummus. It's from Whole Foods, I think. And then I got a Parmesan Gouda cheese. That's for my morning box, and I think I've showed you that before. So now I'm going to fill my top tier. And like I mentioned, this is lunch and dinner. So it's dinner tonight, and I have my little bowl. And I like to do the lunch part first and portion out, how much I think is appropriate, because it would be a real shame to get hungry at lunch when the only thing by me is Jack in the Box or Panda Express, where I can't even eat anything because they have signs that say we have no vegetarian food. So I'm going to do this. A lot of people have asked me about food safety, if these kinds of things are safe to stay out at room temperature. Use your best judgment, but generally speaking, yes. The one thing that you don't want to do, you don't want to make a hot meal like this and then immediately put it in the fridge. You want to let this cool down, which I'm going to do. I'm going to leave it open to cool at room temperature. And once it's to room temperature, pack it up, put it in the refrigerator. And then you can take it out, and it's good for at least 4 hours, probably no more than 5. If it's meat or dairy, I'd be really careful with it. But if it's vegetables and stuff, that kind of stuff, I've never made myself sick, and I've been doing this, like I said, for 4 years, 5 days a week. So, use your best judgment. Look up food safety online if you want to know. I had to take a class, which gave me some really awesome dreams about botulism. So, look it up if you want to know. But I personally haven't had any problems. To be safe, let your food cool, and then pack it. This is so boring, you guys. Nobody cares. Anyway, I have packed this beautiful little bento box, and I'll show you what I got. Now, check out my bento box. I have all the things that I showed you. You can see I've worked with my loose rainbow tier here. My peanut butter cups are buried underneath the blueberries. And like I said, I'm going to let that come to room temperature, but not before I sprinkle a little bit of Parmesan on it and let that, ooh, it's just going to be so good. And then here's my dinner, which is not a lot of food, but I'm not super hungry. You can eat the whole thing if you want. It's up to you. But anyway, this makes about 2 to 3 servings, my particular ravioli that I got. So I'll eat it tonight, and I'll probably eat it tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'll pack it again, but I might have to buy some more greens. As you can see, it's a little light on them. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments or questions, leave them below. I figured it out. You have to subscribe to me for me to be able to answer them. Otherwise, I'm just blindly firing them into the abyss, hoping you might come back and look at the comments on my video again, which nobody's going to do. So if you subscribe and leave a comment, I can write back to you. And I tried to answer a lot of questions in this video. I get asked a lot about, like I said, food safety, all that jazz, how I store my food, pretty boring stuff. So, yeah, thanks so much for watching, and hopefully it won't be as long until the next one. Bye.